So right before I hit record, I cut a promo on commenters that's basically a bonus episode. I have no idea what to do with a bonus episode, but we should find a way to put that out there.
We'll figure it out.
We'll find a way.
Yep, we'll figure it out.
So tonight's Dynamite, I think in no way, shape, or form cleaned up anything.
No, and it could be said, it may have murkied waters even more.
It may have. The only thing it cleared up was me trying to figure out the schedule because apparently Dynasty is in about 4 weeks. I don't know about you. That is literally the first time I've seen any promotional anything about Dynasty. I had no idea they were doing this in April.
Nope, me neither. Because I think we had thought it was going to be at least.
I thought Double or Nothing was next.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And that's in May. Because I've seen the graphic and they've talked about tickets are on sale and blah, blah, blah. I've seen nothing about Dynasty. So
because
that threw me for a loop.
There wasn't going to, well, not that there wasn't going to be a Dynasty, but that the next one that was remotely big was just going to be an extra large Dynamite.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do one of their, sort of pay-per-view level Dynamites in April.
Awesome. Yeah.
Then Double or Nothing in May. And then we would basically do a pay-per-view a month through the end of the year. Apparently not.
You're getting Dynasty in April, baby.
And it's on a Sunday again, which we didn't talk about this with Revolution. That ended around 12:30 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
Dude, Tony, you can't do that again. You cannot do that again on a Sunday night.
Nope.
Please.
Stop it.
Yeah, do it on Saturday, fine, but not on Sunday.
Idea. Trim it down to, 3 hours. 3 hours
which you could easily do. Yeah.
3 hours is good.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get into a Dynamite that in no way, shape, or form cleared anything up.
Nope.
But yeah, it was still pretty entertaining in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So we opened with Ospreay and Blake Christian, which I think it's probably fair to say really the main thing we were all looking at here was how is Ospreay going to move? How is he going to look? Yep. I thought he looked pretty good.
I thought he looked great. And I was real excited for this match. I didn't realize that Blake Christian became all elite. And I think he is someone on par with could be next big thing. I don't know if he's ever going to be a world title holder in AEW, but if they work him right, he could definitely be up in that national championship title hunt, the continental title hunt. He is so good. And I thought he looked really good against a really good looking Ospreay on his return. And wow, that dude does not move like he just had his neck fused twice.
No, he does not. And a couple points there. Blake Christian has been in AEW for a while. I don't blame you for not knowing it. He's done more ROH than anything.
But they did make a note that 10 days ago he has become all elite. So
really? Okay, I missed that.
Yeah,
I thought he had done that a while ago because he's done a lot of ROH and he's been on AEW a couple of times. But okay, all right, good to know.
Apparently that was just contract work or something. But now he's got the big boy contract now.
Sure.
So
okay, well that's good to know
for him. But
I do too.
I'm glad to see him more because I think he's so talented. And of all the people, I actually wrote, this should be dope because Blake Christian, of all the people to go up against Will Ospreay to see if he can go still, that guy is a really good test. And I thought they both look great. And man, again, Will Ospreay, dude, so good.
Yeah. I really liked Brian talking a lot about his experiences with his neck surgeries. I thought that added a lot to it. Even if he's kayfabing, I don't care. I thought it added a lot to it and did a lot to help put Ospreay over of almost like a freak of nature kind of thing with how he recovered. So I thought that was good. I thought all the way around this was good. I liked him going into the crowd after Mox.
Yep.
I thought that was good. I liked when he and Pac came up the ramp during the Bang Bang Gang entrance. I thought that was clever. I liked everything here. I thought it all worked.
I wrote down that was a great scrum. That's how those should be done. Really, really liked it. You know how I feel about these aftermatch attacks. I think sometimes they feel a little too scripted. This one felt really natural to me. It felt like, Ospreay didn't wait around. He just went out into the crowd and started kicking ass, throwing trash cans. Loved it. And the dive onto Pac was amazing. And I think we see his next opponent.
Yeah, I think so too.
And again, feed me that all day. I'll watch those two go. That'll be
it'll be great. Yeah, I had the same thought. If that's what's next, hook it to my veins. Then, like I said, Bang Bang Gang was making their entrance, so them versus Yuta and Mox. Honestly, I thought it was fine. I don't have a lot of thoughts here other than I was a little concerned that Bang Bang Gang might get wrecked. And I was glad that they got offense in beyond just, well, Ospreay beat those guys down, so they get some early stuff in and then kind of get squashed by Mox specifically. I was glad to see Bang Bang Gang get actual legitimate offense in.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Ace Austin, again, I think he's a great acquisition. I want to see more of him in the ring. I do have a question. What in the hell is going on with Juice Robinson's trunks? They look like a black velvet Elvis painting minus the Elvis, and they look puffy, and I don't know what's happening, and I'm concerned because he had them on at Revolution, and it looked like he filled them. Like it looked like there was too much going on out there. And it just, I don't know what's happening. And I'm not judging. Like, if that's just your thing, great. Love it. Good on you. They look weird, man. They just look weird, and it's distracting to me.
Look, I'm not going to judge what he and Tony Storm get up to in their relationship. It's fine. That's what they're into. It's what they're into.
Yeah, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Some things you can keep in the locker room. But yeah, I agree. Overall,
I did not think that we were going to be doing a breakdown of Juice Robinson's trunks tonight.
You know what? If he would have had different trunks on, I would have dropped it. But it's twice in a row now I've seen this. And it's just, he turns around and I think, my God, Juice, it looks like you've just evacuated quickly and you just didn't want to change. I don't know what the hell's going on there.
Look, sometimes things happen. You have one too many burritos and catering, things happen, you know?
Well, you want a chalupa wherever you want a chalupa. That's fine. That's fine. But I don't know. They're just, fashion-wise, they're not for me. Clearly, I'm not a fashion plate. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I just know they looked weird. And with my ADHD, once I noticed it, I could not stop noticing it. And it just, to the point of distraction. But
it's part of his audition for Lucha Burrito Donkey Show or whatever we called them.
Lucha Burrito Donkey Show is now what we're calling them, whether we did it before or not. So yeah,
I couldn't keep track.
Hey, what'd you think of that Gabe Kidd promo?
So I wrote down Gabe Kidd heavy metal video because that's basically what it was. Here's the one thing I wrote down. Did you know there's a reason that Darby didn't die on Mount Everest? Because they have used that line, I think, 10 times now.
Yes, they
have. Promo packages. What do you think I thought of it?
I think you were a huge fan.
Yeah, that was it.
You like them as much as I like Juice's shorts.
Yeah, pretty much. I was just like, all right, fine. I get it. You're doing the hype reel for this match. Okay. It was what it was.
What I found weird was when they came back from that, because they went to break right after that, they come back with an Omega promo instead of going right to the parking lot. I thought that was odd.
So here's how odd I thought it was. I had written, so the way I format my notes, I don't know how well you can see it. I do little headers for the matches or the segments so that my eyes go there first, and then my thoughts underneath it. I had written coffin match. I had written that subheader, and I had to bump it down to come back up and put the Omega video, because why would you structure it that way? I don't get it.
Do not understand it. But
so here's what I wrote down about the Omega video. When did Swerve become the number one contender?
As we'll find out later, you're not the only one who had that question.
No, I was not. So then we got the actual coffin match. What'd you think about that?
The parking lot start was interesting. As soon as it started, I thought, oh, okay, they're doing like a cinematic match, because it was clearly they put more time and effort into filming it, and it was, the edits were fine, but it was clearly a cutaway when the car went upside down, which I thought was kind of a cool twist.
Yeah, I liked that.
With Gabe Kidd falling out of the trunk onto the top of the, I thought that was a really good visual, really funny. The match itself, meh. It was fine. I'm okay. I thought it was a weird blow off. And just, Darby, here's a piece of advice. If you are going to put someone in a straitjacket, tie their arms behind their back before you turn around.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, why?
Yeah, that didn't make sense. Brian said what I was thinking of. If he's unconscious, put him in the coffin.
Thank you.
Why did you not wheel him straight to the coffin? That didn't make any sense.
No.
I didn't. I don't have a lot of feelings on this one. I wrote down, this is weird and needs to be over.
Mm-hmm.
I felt the crowd was pretty dead for about half of it because they were, I think, confused. It felt like commentary was confused. I was confused. At the end of this, I went, okay, fine. I'm glad that the match did not go longer than it did, and yet it somehow still, I think, went too long. I think you could have cut some time off that.
I think part of that was because so much happened at the beginning where nothing happened.
Yeah.
He spent so much time trying to get him into the chair and then into a straitjacket that he didn't use properly. So, okay.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And so, yeah, as I watched that part, I thought, this is an interesting use of TV time. And the crowd, I think, is just as confused as everyone.
Yeah, I think so too. Regardless of how any of us feel about this match or whatever, this needs to be over. That needs to be it.
Yeah, 100%.
Move both of them on to something else, which hopefully the post-match promo was a little bit of a sign of, with Darby calling out MJF, to which I wrote down, of course, he now decides he wants the world title.
Mm-hmm. I wrote down, Darby calls out MJF, got almost no reaction from the crowd on that one.
Yeah, like I said, the crowd,
I'm coming for you, and you're waiting for the woo, and it's just crickets. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I wrote down, okay, I guess. I look, if you want to do this match, okay, so this is going to come up later, but my thought was, all right, fine. So you're going to do Swerve and Omega at Dynasty, and then the main event can be Darby and MJF at Dynasty. You do like a one-off that MJF wins. Okay, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But let's be real. Darby Allin right now is not legitimately challenging for the world championship.
No,
he's just not. You got to do some work there to get him to the point where I'm thinking, like, yeah, like back when the Death Riders were still going and Darby was like really the thorn in their side before he went to Mount Everest.
Yeah,
I was like, I think there's a chance Darby's the guy that ends this, and that they put the strap on him. I don't think that right now. I don't think there's any chance of that right now.
No, it's a weird way to get him to that point too, I think.
Yeah.
I was really kind of shocked they were doing this match tonight. I thought, what else do we need to do? Like,
I don't know.
Gabe Kidd was mad because you zip tied his hand to a box. Okay. And so maybe he felt the need. So, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't very excited. Like, I thought the coolest part was the car accident. The rest, it was fine. And I have to be honest, I had to pause it for a minute because Wallace, my dog, needed to go outside and do business, and it took him a minute. I did fast forward through some of that. Just
I was going to say, you
knew what I was going to see. I knew what I was going to see, and I saw it. And okay,
yeah, you could have just let it play; it would have been fine. I think this needs to be over. I'm with you. When they announced it on Revolution that we're doing a coffin match between them, I thought, why? This should be over.
Yeah.
So I hope it finally is, and I guess we'll see where it goes from here. But
hopefully nowhere. Hopefully they drop it.
Yeah, well, I guess I should say we'll see where Darby goes from here, and I guess then also where Gabe Kidd goes from here. But
I think if they're smart, they take the dogs and they throw them against Lucha Burrito Donkey Kong and for the trios title, because I think that's a very logical step, and they'll put on some good matches.
I agree with you. I think that's I think that's where they should go. After that, we got the Jack video, which I thought I enjoyed it. I thought it was weird in the best way. Like the thing with the squirrel was funny. I don't understand it, but it was funny.
I had the sound off for that part for some reason. I just looked at the screen and went, I don't know what I'm watching, but
he didn't. I mean, so there weren't words. Like they were using they were using the old Jurassic Express music, which I liked. I was liked that entrance music for them. So like, okay, it's fun they're doing that. And it was basically just Luchasaurus being impatient of like, come on, we gotta go. And Jack holds out his hand as he walks out of his house, and a squirrel comes and eats out of his hand. I don't get the point of any of it, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun, and having Luchasaurus call Okada a bitch was really fun.
That was really fun. I enjoyed that a lot.
Nice bit.
So yeah, it was weird, but I liked it. Then we had Prince Nana in the ring, did a little promo-ish thing, I guess you would call that. And he brought Swerve to the ring. I like Swerve's sparkly pants.
Yeah, that's like the second or third time he's worn them, man. Because as you know, I noticed pants apparently.
Yeah,
now.
You're apparently a pant guy.
Yeah,
that's what I'm learning.
Which is weird because I wear them so infrequently.
I know. I guess you want what you can't have. I don't know.
Yes. Yes. like an end to the Gabe Kid Darby Allin feud.
God, seriously. But this is where I wrote down for the first time, I had no idea Dynasty was in April, because he's the first person to point it out on the show. Like, it's in the background, but they don't run a promo.
Nope.
He's the first person to point it out. And as we referenced earlier, I wrote down, glad it was news to Swerve that he's the number one contender too, because I was confused by that. So I'm glad I wasn't alone.
He got about 2 sentences out, and I literally wrote, is Swerve going to ask Omega to put his EVP status on the line?
Oh, look at you go.
Yep. But on top of that, you're right. Quite possibly the funniest thing was, I didn't know I was the number one contender.
Which I appreciate him saying what we were all thinking. I really do.
Yeah. Because what were we saying at the end of Revolution? Because we were like, okay, we had a whole bunch of people lined up.
Yep.
Now we don't. But who's next?
Yeah.
All right, Swerve. Okay, Swerve it is. Fine, Swerve it is.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about that of he probably made the most sense, but with the Omega run-in, it felt like, well, you should do that and then have him go after the title. And I still think you should do that. I wrote down later in the show, why would you do this match on next week's Dynamite and not save it for Dynasty? I don't understand that.
I don't either.
I do not get that. I think that's a mistake. I think that's an unforced error on their part. Yep. What I wrote down about the stipulation of I want your power, I want the EVP power, this might be Hangman's path back. If Swerve wins, which I assume he's going to, and he gets the EVP power. So I've thought for a while that AEW actually needs that on-screen authority guy, because I think you need somebody that can make these unpopular decisions, and it's not Tony, right? Because Tony doesn't, despite what people on the internet think, Tony does not actually want to be on camera.
Right.
If he did, we would see him the way that Vince always crammed himself in front of the TV, right? Like, we would. Because he can do whatever he wants. He owns the company.
Yep.
So I've thought they needed that for a while. And when they brought Regal in, I was hoping it was going to be him. This could be Hangman's path back, because if Swerve really heals it up with the EVP power and he decides that maybe I'm not going to challenge yet, maybe I'm going to mess with you, Max, and I'm waiving that clause and I'm throwing Hangman Page at you because he's the guy I really want to fight. Like, you see where I'm going with this, right? Like,
absolutely. Yeah.
There's an easy connective tissue there of Swerve waving this, using that power to take that off of Hangman and put him back in that scene. This might be your path back. And I'll be honest with you, of all that stuff we threw out on Monday when we recorded, I like this idea the best. This actually makes sense. This feels good to me.
Does make a lot of sense. I am a little concerned, like you said, that I feel like they're rushing this Omega Swerve match for the EVP power. There is zero reason why you can't do that at Dynasty, in my humble opinion.
I mean,
you build that stress, you build that drama. with it. Whatever you want to do, you have them go back and forth. You have Swerve snipe him a couple times. You have Omega come in and do, get him a couple times, and you just build that anticipation. But it's next week, and it doesn't this is a pretty impactful match. And I feel like it loses some of that sting because it's like, wait, he's the number one contender? Didn't know. Oh, God, now the EVP title's on the line? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So power's going to change next Wednesday because I can't see not having Swerve win.
I agree. If you want him to remain the number one contender, I don't know how you do that. So that's why I said I don't understand why you're not doing this at Dynasty. This is a pay-per-view match in every conceivable way. I don't understand why you're not doing it. The only thing I can figure is there's going to be some sort of no finish on this. Somebody gets DQ'd or, there's outside interference, whatever it is, like they're going to somehow dusty finish this. And that's how it's going to stretch to the pay-per-view. But to me, that feels like a waste of time. To me, that feels like you're taking ring time away from somebody else.
Yep.
To do a match that we all know you should just be doing on Dynasty. Like, I don't get that.
Does Hangman come back and interfere, and now we get Hangman Swerve again?
Maybe, but I read today that he's apparently going to take time off in the wake of all this, which he should. Yeah, he's earned it. The man has been around for several months now, and he's put himself through a lot.
Yeah.
The best I can give you is maybe, but I lean towards no. So, maybe Max gets involved, but I don't know, dude. Maybe Don Callis family gets involved. I don't know. But it feels any of those options I don't love. And if you're going to do that as a way to get this then on the pay-per-view card, just put it on there to begin with. And it's 4 weeks, basically. That's 4 episodes of Dynamite. That's it. 4 episodes. So you're telling me that you couldn't get like 2 more promo battles out of those 2 guys and then do the old tag match before Dynasty, like the week of Dynasty? I mean, come on, man. Like, there are plenty of ways that you can do the contract signing. There's plenty of things you can do.
We didn't even get to hear Kenny's comment. He didn't even.
Yeah, we don't even know if he accepted.
All we know is that Tony Khan signed the deal. It's happening. It's like, well, that feels rushed and it feels a little cheap.
I don't love it.
No, I love the concept.
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea. I think it's a smart move because it makes sense for Swerve's character. This all makes sense. But to have it happen that quickly when basically they've done nothing else this quick, why would you do that when you do have a pay-per-view in 4 weeks? My gosh. But,
and you don't have I think they made 1 match for it tonight. I'm not even sure they made 1. No, they did. It's the tag match. They made that official for tonight.
Right.
Or tonight for Dynamite or for Dynasty, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So why are you rushing this match when you've got a wide open pay-per-view card and you got to find a way to make it 8 hours long? Like
the only other thing I wrote down for this was I can't help but think that this is what Moxley should have done with the Death Riders.
Oh.
Because he wanted so bad to change AEW.
Yeah.
He should have done this move. I mean, it makes sense for Swerve to do it now, and it would look dumb if they both did, but I think the Death Riders would have been so much more interesting if they went out and they took out the Bucks, took their EVP, whatever. They took out all the EVPs. And
that's what I was just thinking.
And then Mox takes the EVP, and now he's got the power, and he starts dictating, and now he's the on-screen authority, and he's making matches that he wants.
Yeah.
That would have made so much more sense than whatever weird vagueness that they did with the Death Riders and are still weirdly doing with the Death Riders because
I'm with you. No, I'm with you. I think you're absolutely right about that. But you saying that made me think maybe that's it because there's more than one EVP. So maybe Swerve, and he called out the Young Bucks. Maybe that's where we're going with this, is he's going to take the 3 EVPs out one by one and take all that power. Because that was my thing when they did the little, I don't know what you would call it, the little standoff with Omega and the Bucks. Remember that when before Kenny had come back full time, you know, when he was still healing. And I always remember thinking, this doesn't make sense. It's 2-on-1. Like you're outvoted. Why does Omega get to just shut it down when it's 2 against 1? Right. So that is very interesting. And that makes some sense if Swerve is going to consolidate all that power.
Right. Yeah. It makes sense. But like, again, to pull the trigger so fast to me seems a little weird.
If that's what you're doing it, then you're doing it in the wrong order.
Yeah.
Like he should start with, I would say he should start with Matt, because as Cody told me once, you like how I just dropped that I've talked to Cody more than one time. As Cody told me once, Nick is secretly the best wrestler in the Elite.
I don't think it's really that big of a secret, to be honest.
Well, at the time it kind of was, because Nick didn't get a lot of love, you know, at that time. And he was like, he's the best. So I think it would make sense to go Matt, Nick, then Kenny.
Yep.
And, you know, you took out this week. So really it's like 3 weeks, basically, to the pay-per-view. It might still be 4. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But that's 3 of your weeks right there. You know, I mean, or, you know, you take out 2 weeks with one buck. Next week is the next buck. And then, you know, again, him and Kenny promo battle to get you to Dynasty, because Omega Swerve is a pay-per-view match. I don't understand why you're not doing that on pay-per-view. I don't get that.
It 100% is. And it should main event. But
it should probably. So, especially if it's Darby against Max. Nothing against Darby, but Swerve and Omega is a bigger match at that point.
Yep.
So anyway, as we beat that dead horse, but clearly made us feel some kind of way. Renee was backstage with Speedball. I liked this. I don't know what the point of it was, but I liked it.
I just realized tonight, I was like, I finally figured out what it is about his promos that kind of every time, even if I like him, make me go, and it's the French Canadian accent that isn't quite gone.
Yeah.
And it makes me, you know, I'm like, oh, you sound like Georges St. Pierre. Okay.
He kind of does. Yeah.
Okay. But you've worked on it, but it's not quite gone. That's what it is. But yeah, I thought it was fine. Again, not a lot of point.
No.
But I didn't hate it.
No, it was fine. I think what it is I think he lives in the U.S. now, but I don't think he's fully lost the accent, which, you know, a lifetime of having it, that'll happen.
Yeah, weird how that works.
Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, still has the accent, you know?
I gotta feel that he's putting that on.
Could be. Him and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Could be. I don't know. But then Speedball and Mark Davis locked up in the ring. This is where I wrote down, why do Swerve versus Kenny on Dynamite, not on Dynasty? Because this is where they announced it. Right. My only other thoughts on the match were, I really like this version of Mark Davis. I think he looks really good. I was a little surprised that Speedball won this one.
Yep.
But I thought they both looked really good. I thought this is a good match.
I wrote down for some reason, when Mark Davis came out, I wrote down looking like the reincarnation of Ole Anderson, because he looked like old school Ole. He's kind of got the same thick build, a little bigger. Well, actually, it's probably more like if Stan Hansen and Ole Anderson had a baby, it would be Mark Davis.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah,
it'd also probably be physically impossible, but I'd let a man dream.
Yeah.
I also wrote down, apparently Speedball is trying to give Davis ringworm with those kicks to the mouth.
Yeah. I had the thought of they should have called it Mullet Mania, because a lot of mullets going on there.
And then you tell, and I'm sure this is insane. I had this thought, because Mark Davis is, again, and I think maybe it's because the Ole Anderson thing came to me, I thought he should team with FTR, because they're all kind of throwbacks. And FTR could use a guy like Mark Davis.
They could use a heavy. Yeah,
they could use a hitter like him. And He's got that throwback attitude. They came in with a throwback attitude. They still haven't 100% lost it. They always tip their hat to the old school. I mean, my God, they come out to the Midnight Express music or a variant thereof.
It's a variant of it, but it's really close.
Super close. So I just had that thought. I was like, man, he would be really cool to see with FTR, and they could use that that heater that just comes in and squashes folks because he's believable and he would do it. So
I agree with you. I mean, I the timing's probably not right at the moment, but I agree with you. If they split the Don Callis family up, where a bunch of these dudes go off on their own, I think that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, I liked it.
I think that's a really good idea. Then we got the MJF video of him backstage after Revolution, and all I wrote down was so good.
Yeah.
That was so good.
So good. I wrote down channeling Piper and Flair really well right here because I felt so much of that was both those guys combined and in the best way possible, not in a like a pretend way. He wasn't like, but he literally was like channeling that energy of Roddy Piper and Ric Flair into his own unique creation. And it was just, you could see where he is such a student of not just the game in the ring, but how to talk outside the ring and how to use those emotions. And I thought, that's why he is better than me and I know it. And this is why he's so damn good. He's just so damn good.
Yeah, he's incredible. I agree with you on that. He was brilliant. It was just brilliant.
Yeah.
The Okada video followed. The only thing, I mean, look, this was pretty good, right? Like I enjoyed his little clap back there. The main thing I wrote down was you can take your shot at Takeshita, but I no longer care. We've hit that point. I don't care anymore. You took too long. I don't care.
Yep. I wrote down weird, but fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Then I thought of you for this one because Marina versus Mina, and I was
hated that.
I had a feeling.
Hated that, man. Hated that.
I had that feeling. So I don't know I guess I know where we're going with this. So Tony Storm apparently gets jumped backstage at some point right before the show started, causing Mina to step in. Certainly not a new wrestling angle by any stretch of the imagination, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I will give Tony Schiavone a lot of credit for trying to plant the seeds of doubt that I don't think it was Marina that did it.
Yeah, that Ronda Rousey did it. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting.
Said that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I give him credit on that. And if that's what it was, and that probably is how we're going to go with this. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. I laughed when Brian said this because I had the same thought. A barbed wire bat is not a hold to be barred because this is a no holds barred match. I had the same thought. That is not a hold.
I mean, you got to hold the bat.
I guess. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I get it that they switch up the names of these just for, I don't know, to try and make it unique, but call it what it is. It's a no DQ match or hardcore or whatever.
Or variety.
Yeah.
I did say that, man, those judo throws that Marina was throwing in the beginning were vicious, dude. Those were so vicious.
Yes, they were.
Now, were you as surprised as I was that Mina won? Because
yes, I
was really surprised.
I was very surprised by that. Yeah. It was good though. I will be very real that my expectations on this were low.
Yep.
But I thought they were very good. Mm-hmm. And I was very surprised that Mina won, but okay.
Again, I think these last two Marina matches are the best she's looked in AEW. I really like where she's grown to, and I like where she's headed, which is why I was really shocked that Mina won, because I don't know what sense that makes to have her win that. But
the only thing I can think of is it's what you had talked about on the Revolution show of, I think ultimately this builds to a tag match of Timeless Love Bombs versus ICU versus
I know.
God.
For those just listening, that was me putting my cat's tail onto the microphone.
Yeah. And yeah. Anyway. Moving on. because I don't know what to say to that.
Tag match.
But Timeless Love Bombs
and,
versus Rousey and Marina Shafir. I think that's where we're going. And I think that they'll probably have Mina and Marina mix it up again. They'll probably trade wins here. And that's going to be part of the build to it, especially since Ronda is not going to be available to them for at least a little while.
Yep.
Because of the fight. So that's my guess of why that went the way that it did.
That's as good as any.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise I don't get it. So that's the only thing that kind of makes sense to me. Then Renee was backstage with Andrade, and of course he wants the world title.
Makes sense to me.
It makes sense to me too. My thought with it was, well, now we're starting to get a little murky again, because now that's two dudes who want it and a third guy who's the number one contender and didn't know he was the number one contender. But I don't think he's going to say no to that. You know what I mean?
But again, I like having multiple guys come after it. And I'm not mad that Darby said he wants the title. But it's like me when I was a kid saying, I want to be an astronaut. Never going to happen.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be because, I don't like Ferris wheels. How the hell am I going to be an astronaut?
Right.
But Andrade at least makes the most sense. He's on such a tear and he looks so good. But then the MJF thing happens. And I thought I was like, oh, and the cracks continue to show in the Don Callis family. And of all the people to break away, Andrade is not the one I thought it would be, but man, it makes the most sense now.
Yeah. If Andrade breaks away because of this, I think that is very interesting. Very interesting.
I think they clearly want us to think that.
Yeah.
And you know what? If Andrade continues to do what he's been doing and look the way he's been looking in the ring, bring it. He doesn't need the Don Callis family for what he's doing.
No.
But apparently MJF wants to pay him money to take out Darby.
Well, at least pays Don. Which again is fine. I mean, it's fine. Look, if this leads to Andrade breaking away from the Don Callis family, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
I think he's probably him and Takeshita are the guys to do it. But you're taking way too long with Takeshita. So
yes, you are.
Okay, I guess Andrade's the guy. All right, fine. I got no problem with it. So then there was main event time with the Bucks and Jack Perry, as I wrote down, the Elite, ?
I put Jurassic Bucks.
Oh, I like Jurassic Bucks. They were the Elite, but anyway, I don't know if we're still doing that. Versus RPG, Vice, and Okada. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it. I don't have a lot more to say about it.
Nope. It went exactly how I thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
It was nice to see RPG Vice get some good offense in and not look like just to get steamrolled. That was really nice to see because I like Rocky Romero's fine, but and Okada, he's so good.
Yep.
Because he had to take a stutter step to knock. I don't remember if it was Nick, probably Nick, coming off the top rope with the drop kick. He had to take a stutter step, and even Shivani goes, Okada's timing was perfect, and it was. A lot of guys wouldn't have done what he did, and looked great. So I thought it was great.
Yeah, he continued to show that he is, even though Okada is, I think, pretty clearly on the back nine of his career.
Yep,
he's still one of the best working in the world today. Period.
Oh yeah.
He is incredible in the ring. I thought he was so entertaining tonight. The stuff he was doing in the ring was so entertaining, and he's funny, and he was great. He's just he has not been what I thought he was going to be in AEW and what I hoped he was going to be when he came in, and yet somehow I don't even care. Because I'm still he's great. Love him. He's great.
And what I love about him is he wasn't the New Japan Okada that came over. He's developed this new Okada persona, and it's smart because he's not putting his body in near as much risk as he was in New Japan, and he shouldn't at this point in his career. And he's so, like you said, he's just so entertaining, and even in the ring, he's being entertaining, but he can still go, and it's not, and there's no question about it. The guy still a legitimate contender. So,
oh yeah, I do think before he's done, he'll get one run with the world title. Might not be a super long one, might be a little bit Bryan Danielson-esque, but I think it's going to happen because he's still. I mean, look, if they had said to me tonight, instead of Swerve out of nowhere, they said, "Oh, Okada's the new number one contender," I would have been like, "Well, that makes even less sense." But all right, that's fine. Let's do it.
I'll take it. Yeah,
let's do it.
Yep.
Then of course Edge and Christian Cage. I didn't do it on purpose that time. I called him Edge. I didn't do it on purpose that time. I told you I'm going to struggle with that one.
Cage and Cope, baby.
Yep. Cage and Cope came out. It was fine. Again, it was fine. The promos were fine. It's not like it was going to be bad. I like that they might be building towards the Bucks and them because I want that very badly.
Yep. I wrote down, I smell three-way.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Plus Stoke out of the chair.
Yeah. Which it was time.
Mm-hmm.
It was time. No, I agree. I had the same thought of somehow this is going to lead to a three-way for the title at Dynasty. Not sure how, but I think it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But there is a part of me that doesn't want them to do it because I would actually rather them say, I would rather have the Young Bucks say to them, you go beat them, but then we got next.
Yeah.
Because I desperately want, this one I'm going to do on purpose. I desperately want Edge and Christian versus the Young Bucks. Like just those four guys. Nothing against FTR, but just those four.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. I think that's exactly what they're probably going for. And the only and this is a small quibble, what I don't quite understand is we had this really murky heavyweight title thing, and the math kind of works out for Swerve to be number one contender, even though I don't think they showed all their work on their paper about it. But Cage and Cope show up out of nowhere, and they're getting a title shot at Dynasty.
That one to me is the old wrestling logic of we said it and it happened.
Yeah, and I get that part, but it's like if I'm the Bucks, I'm pissed. Yeah. If I am any other tag team, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
If I'm Don Callis' family, I'm pissed. If they don't, if that doesn't happen, I don't know why.
I agree. I think FTR needs to cut a promo next week saying, why the hell do you get to jump the line?
Yep.
They need to call that out. And you can do it in the way of it's obvious that they're trying to skirt them. That's fine. Mm-hmm. They'll find a way to do that. They've been, like we talked about in the Revolution show, they've been doing great heel work.
Absolutely.
But I agree with you. It doesn't make a lot of sense from a kayfabe perspective of these two dudes just jump straight to the front of the line when we haven't seen them in several months.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And again, if you're going to do that, that's fine, but have a natural reaction to that. I get the Bucks going, look, we said we're going to start from and we'll do that. So have at it. But I think that's when Bang Bang Gang comes out and is like, whoa. And like I said, almost any other tag team should be coming out and going, what do you mean you got next? No, son, I don't think so. And that ring should have filled up with wrestlers. And then it just should have been a Donnybrook and everyone just beating hell out of each other. I understand maybe why they didn't do that tonight, but I think someone should address it. And it makes the most sense to me to have Don Callis address it because that's his whole thing is we want all the belts.
Yeah.
And where maybe get off?
Maybe that's why they didn't do it tonight because he wasn't there.
Maybe, yeah.
Don obviously wasn't there. That's why they did like the Zoom call or whatever that was for the Andrade segment.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they didn't do it because maybe they want Don to be the guy that opens that door. That makes sense.
That makes sense. And if he doesn't, it's really confusing because if anyone's going to, he should be the guy to do that.
Yeah.
And he can play up the whole smarmy look, Stoke. It's not you, and it's not that we don't like FTR. We like FTR. We respect FTR, but what are you doing giving these guys a shot?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I think that makes a lot more sense than what actually happened. So, again, like we said at the start of the show, I'm not sure they cleared anything up tonight.
No.
I feel like we took a murky scene and made it murkier, and they did a lot of things that don't make much sense to me. And this is where somebody's going to come out of the woodwork and say something along the lines of, well, it's because Tony only books what he wants to see. He doesn't care about the fans. Blah. And I'm going to have to cut a promo on them next week. So just, you've been warned.
And again, I think I think we're both being super nitpicky and a bit critical, but I think we're not alone in some of the thoughts we're having either. And again, it doesn't take away from the overall entertainment I got from this show. I was still very entertained by this show. It does raise some questions for me.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, I thought it was a pretty good show. I just don't think it cleared anything up.
No, I think adding Darby to the mix is a weird call. I'm okay putting Andrade on him. That's all right. It gives Darby something to do. It fills Andrade's time. The big concern I have, if they're so hot and bothered about pushing Darby, don't sacrifice Andrade to him, for God's sake.
No, I agree.
Andrade should run through him.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, period. Yeah. Full stop.
Yeah. And that's where I get, I guess, nitpicky with it, and where I think that they are in a little bit of, I think they're in a little bit of a rut right now. And I think that the reason that it feels that way is because a lot of the time we can look at things and go, okay, logically here's, based on the world you have built, right, over the last, let's just say 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can look at it and logically go, okay, here's probably where we're going, and it makes sense, and cool, I'm on board. Here's money, right? Yep. But when you put all that in a blender, which they have done, and they've done that a lot of different ways. It's not just with what happened tonight. It's the hangman which I am now just officially calling the dumbass stipulation.
Yep.
It's some of the other things that have changed up seemingly on the fly, but maybe not. It just makes me worry that, like I said on the Revolution show, it makes me worry that they didn't go, okay, here's what we want. Like, you don't have to have the whole All-In card.
Right.
You should know, here's what I want to do with the world title. Here's what I want to do with the tag titles. Here's what I want to do with the women's world title. Here's what I want to do with, and start filling in those titles, if nothing else, right? But it gives me a little bit of concern that they did not sit down and go, this is the main event of All In. Here's how we got, and we're going to work backwards to build to it. I'm a little concerned they did not do that.
Right.
And
maybe they did, but it's not an obvious path that I'm seeing yet.
Yeah. And look, I'm on record of wrestling, I think, is more fun when I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, surprise me.
Yeah, like the Sting debut on Dynamite, when that happened, just burned in my brain because none of us had any idea that was coming, and it was great.
So good.
I don't mind you throwing curveballs and swerving us, but you got to do it in a way where I go, okay, I guess I get it. Like, oh, okay, I kind of see where we're going with it, or oh, I should have known, right? Like, I don't mind doing that, but when it just comes out of nowhere, kind of like Hangman the dumbass stipulation kind of came out of nowhere. I still don't understand that decision. Like, right. I'm just confused.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like this to start to clear up. At least, it needs to start clearing up next week, I hope, because I'm confused.
Yep.
And if I stay confused for too long, now we're back into Death Rider territory where I'm going, why are you doing what you're doing? Just say words that make sense,
Exactly. And I hope they learn from the crowd reaction tonight and have Andrade stomp Darby, because
I hope so too.
No offense, I like watching Darby. I do feel it's weird. I feel like Darby's a little overexposed right now.
He is. I agree.
And putting him into the title hunt, again, any wrestler should want to have the title. Yep. I get that. I don't have a problem with him asking for it. My concern is it literally got zero reaction from that house crowd. I can't imagine that reaction was much different amongst people watching, because my reaction was kind of the same with, okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
please don't force that. Let Andrade hurt him, take him off TV for a little while. And if you want to insert Andrade in, I'm okay with that. I like Andrade. It makes sense to have Andrade in that role. Him, Swerve, Omega, all in that hunt.
yeah.
Love it. That's a great
Ospreay
mix of
probably at
people.
some point gets in on that.
Once he gets done with Mox, then you could start looking at Ospreay to put in there.
Yep.
But for the time being, when the short runs up, those are some really solid guys to have in that hunt to go after MJF, and they could all have bangers against each other, and it'll be very good.
And possibly a returning Samoa Joe at some point too.
I was going to ask about that earlier, and it just slipped my mind about at some point, when are we going to see Joe come back? Because that's going to happen.
Yeah, I hope. I mean, if you don't know, the legit shoot update is that I don't know what happened, but he got a concussion. And yeah, there were reports that he's in their concussion protocol. So who knows with that, right? But at some point, I hope Joe comes back, and now he's part of that, and right. So anyway, yeah, I agree with you. To me, at the end of the day, if this business is about making money, it's about selling tickets, putting butts in seats, to quasi quote Tony Schiavone, then I'm not sure Darby's the guy that's going to do that for you. I think those other dudes you listed off are going to put butts in seats. I don't know that Darby's the guy that I don't know anybody that's like, oh, dude, Darby's wrestling, I'm buying tickets. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. Like, I'm sure the match will be cool, but I'm buying the tickets for MJF or whomever it is,
Yeah.
So,
and I honestly think they thought that was going to get a bigger pop, and that they thought, I get it, but no, not right now.
He is not as over as they think he is, and I think they learned that tonight.
I think I get his idea of, I'm going to keep my foot on the gas until I die or get the title. Okay. Yeah. But I think people would like to see a different aspect out of him at some point, because he hasn't shown us much variety yet. He showed us more when he was wrestling with Sting. I mean, look at Orange Cassidy. He's evolved. He doesn't do just the same shtick he did when he came in, but I would like to see Darby put on a wrestling match once in a while instead of a crash test dummy exhibition, which is what he has been doing. And it's been entertaining, but I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I totally agree. Like, I get it that when you're that size, well, I was going to say, I get it that when you're that size, the idea is launching your body is your best weapon, because if you punch a guy, especially if it's, I'm just going to pick Joe because he's on the top of my mind after talking about it. Darby punches Joe. Does Joe feel that? So I get that. But then you look at Rey Mysterio and you go, he didn't do that. Like, yeah, his body's a weapon the way that every wrestler's body is a weapon, but he found ways to do actual wrestling matches. So I think Darby needs to go study some Rey tape.
Yeah.
And figure out how Rey does what he does and start learning how to work that way too.
Well, they got the orange punch over, so even a guy that's not huge has a knockout punch. So
absolutely. Yeah.
Again, I would like to see some variety in the Darby Allin game.
Yeah.
Because we already know what you do well. We get it. But something. I think that for me that's what's missing. And
I agree.
I personally would like to see that.
Yep. No, I agree with you. So anyway, overall, even though I know we've kind of been dumping on it here, it was a good show. I think Davis and Speedball are my match of the night.
I can't disagree with that.
I think they're my match.
I think you're right. I think they both looked great in that match. Although, no, I think you're right. I'll go with that one. But the Ospreay and what's his nuts?
Blake Christian
Blake Christian match, that was really, really, really good.
Yep.
But again, I think both Davis and Speedball looked so good tonight that it's hard to take it from them. So yeah, match of the night for me as well. Really good.
I thought about Ospreay and Blake Christian. I did, but I just think Speedball and Mark Davis were a little bit better. So, God, I'm catching the name thing from you. It's not okay.
Welcome.
That and Ringworm.
That's not from me.
That's true.
You might need a shot, but it's not for the ringworm you got from me.
That's probably true.
You got something else.
What, Doug? What is the something else? Expand on that.
Glowworms. Mine glow.
All right. On that note, take a glowworm and hit subscribe on whatever platform you are listening or watching this on, and like it and share it and spread it like it's glowing ringworm, please and thank you.
Yay.
And maybe we'll figure out how to do the bonus episode of me cutting that promo on those two jabronis.
That will be an audio only if we do that, but yes.
Yeah,
but we can totally do that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, they decided to cape up real hard for the Fed. Like, okay.
Yes.
You morons.
And apparently they work for them.
Yeah, apparently. At least one of them does. All right. On that note, we will talk to you next week. Like I said, share it, like it, subscribe, follow us on social media at Elite Heat Pod on any platform. Apparently, I need to go get tested for glowworms. I don't know.
You do. And also, good luck figuring out when Collision is this weekend.
It's all weekend, apparently.
But only after basketball. I think it's during half times. Instead of doing like the pop shot thing from half court, we're just going to bring a ring out. Darby's going to do a coffin drop from the top of the arena onto anyone with the last name of Kidd. And then Mox is going to bleed on everybody. And that's what it's
really going to mess up the tournament because it's cleaning up all that blood.
MJF